Good morning.
Morning. Hello. I missed
How are
you.
you getting? Yeah, yay. Oh, yeah, you weren't here last
No,
week.
it was my mum's birthday, so we're taking her out on adventures.
Yeah, we need a lot of stories about what it's like to be raised by a Taurus.
Um,
But maybe for a whole different
that's a
series.
whole different. I think you need to always know where there's food. Where the
Right.
food could. You need to know where there's food. Which is an Aries. I never know where there's food, so it's good training. I'm like, okay, where's this food? Yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's
And I went
really
on
good.
holiday. Sorry, I went on holiday with a Taurus, and our friend Anna, and she arrived with like a luxurious 20-foot
Hamper.
pump bed that did not pump up. It's like the impractical luxury of camping and Taurians. I think yeah, glamping was made for those moments.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I grew up with a Taurus. My brother's a Taurus, and our parents camped a lot. And as a Pisces, really sort of for me, wherever I was dropped, it's all
Yeah,
right. It's all right. Get off my cloud. It's fine. This here, I'm sleeping. We have tents. We don't. It's fine. My brother has never really camped since.
no,
He's
that's
yeah. He
that's.
must be four. Yeah, he's 48 now. Not
He's
really
not going to
camped.
start now, is he? It's not going to
No.
start now.
It's a long time since we were children, and I still I will camp. Not in
Yeah,
the UK where it's cold, but I will camp, and there's no way he would.
I still camp, but it usually includes a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. I love
Ensure
that.
sleep.
But yeah, I think there has to be like a whole series about how to grow up with different parents.
Yeah.
And because I grew up with an Aquarian mom, nothing is ever tethered to the ground. Like she could be anywhere. We could be walking around the market and suddenly she vanishes and I just have to think, where could she be? Like anywhere is as possible as anywhere else. She could be in a souvenir store, in a chocolate. There's like no rhyme or reason. And I think it's sort of part of the reason why it's so easy for me to be attuned. But a few weeks ago, I saw a thread of somebody asking, what were your parents? And one person said, I grew up with two Pisces, and me and my husband are both Pisces, and we have
Yes.
four children. And she goes, I grew up with two Pisces. It was always chaos. And it made me so sad because I think, well, the children are growing up in chaos. It's probably okay for them. But one day they will comment on a thread like that and say, we never knew where all the little balls were for the Hungry Hippos game. And I make an effort because my dad's a Virgo. I make an effort to find all those Hungry Hippo but there's
Yeah.
like 20 balls in like four different colors, and it would take me weeks and I would lose sleep. Whereas, my Pisces partner is like, yeah, we'll find them. But that is it. that is the beginning and the end of the search party.
I feel the non-commitment in that phrase.
Yeah. They'll turn up. They'll turn up. In his imagination, they're gonna like pull their walking boots on, get a cap, and find their way across the living room from behind the bin and turn up to us in the correct number and the correct and the correct colors. So yeah, it's very fascinating to me how to manage with a Taurus parent, because Taurians are so fancy. How do
They
you
are
ever live up to
lovely and
that?
fancy. And I'm not, as we know. As we know. Many things I am. Fancy is not one of them. And then I have one now, but two Taurian cats. So it was like they were keeping me from both angles in line in a good way, because otherwise I would not know when lunchtime is or da, da, da. So it's quite good. It's and I also really like it because it's a totally like the luxury of that energy is so lovely. It's a nice thing to dive
Yeah.
into, but the rigidity of it, it's a foreign world sometimes.
Yeah, no, I do love Taurians because I find them
Me
really
too.
aspirational. For me, I find them like really aspirational, how they know how to kind of prioritize the little things. And I like to preach about it. I like to say, you've got to do stuff, otherwise you'll burn out and that. But I don't know how to practice it. So when I see a Taurus really sort of taking time for themselves, which is not selfish, it's needed, it's necessary. We live in a disgusting society that, penalizes you or, shames you for taking time for yourself. And the Taurus doesn't even know. She's sitting there with a book. What?
It's awesome. And there's the kindness of them as well is really lovely as well. Very kind.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because generous. I remember last time we spoke, we were saying that I wasn't very good at self-care. And then I wound up with ear infection and feeling it. No, it's like, I was at that thread and the universe went, boom. So what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, oh yeah. That'll be that.
Yeah. Because you're like, I don't want to rest. And the universe is like, how about the kind of infection that only antibiotics can fix?
Yeah. The one that gets your head that you can't get up. I was like, oh, that one.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Is that hot on the heels? Because 2 weeks ago, you were also sick. It can't be the same one.
Was I?
You remember curling up and doing computer things for the day?
Yeah. I think I just didn't take those little signals of like, I just accelerated. I went, I did that for a day. And then I accelerated for 2 weeks. And that was it. I didn't take the little signals because I felt guilty. So I was like, no. And then I accelerated for a week and a half and it went.
Yeah. It's so Aries and Sagittarius as well. Yeah. Sagittarius, you want to slow them down. You say to them, look, however toxic our society is, it's still not designed for actual 24-hour working days. And Sagittarius is like, but I'm feeling fine.
Yes.
Hey. I'm okay. I'm awake. And then they'll fall asleep.
But you're bad at you're good at good and bad. I mean, you will do things all night until it drives you into a comatose as well, doesn't it? So we will get.
Yeah. And I've always done that. But what it is for me, it comes from a place of really valuing freedom. So I've always despised like working hours, even though I really envy people that have like working hours because half of their day is like free to do what they like. But I could never get on board with working hours. I'm always late for everything. Even at school, I was always late for everything. I don't like following somebody else's schedule, somebody else's routine. I don't even like following my routine and schedule. So even when I was in the army, the job I had, where you have to follow rules, the job I had was kind of separate to everything. I was in charge of like an intelligence computer so that whoever needed information would come to me, and it could be in the day, it could be in the night, but it means that I didn't have to be there at a specific time. And I took great pleasure at doing like the routine jobs at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when it was very peaceful, no queue for the kettle, no queue for the toilets. It was great. So this is sort of really from quite a young age. I have loved sort of doing upside down days, doing upside down hours, and I still enjoy it a lot, and I still would enjoy it were it not for the fact that I have children in mainstream schools, and those mainstream schools do have operating hours that are the same every day.
Yes.
And I know I'm so spoiled that I'm like, really? 5 to 9? Like I get into stupid arguments. I'm like, 5 to 9 is not a time. Do you start at 9 or do you start at 8:30? Because 5 to 9 is not a time to start. Things don't start at 5. What are you, an airplane? Do you have to like fit in, with a takeoff schedule so that you don't bang in the sky? You are there in the building. The building has been there, like in the building that like my mother-in-law went to school at. It's an old building. It hasn't moved. This is exactly 5 to 9. So the other day was we made it there, and we saw the teacher close the door, turned my heel, went into reception, opened reception door with one hand, lifted the child with the other hand, pushed him through while my finger is in the air, turned, and I said, I am not signing a late slip for this, and made my way back to the car. So I do. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. And if any of you are teachers, I'm really sorry. I don't hold you guilty for anything. I love the teachers, adore the teachers, bestie with the teachers, but it's just that sort of very strict guidelines don't suit, I would say, like 50% of the population. I think
Yeah, at
none of the
least.
water signs,
No,
very
no.
few of the like the earth signs can get places on time, but
Yeah.
they expect payment.
Yeah. Yes. And I reckon Librans, can they get there on time? They're quite good at knowing things that need to be done. And
they'll probably be early because they want to be like, you know, at the mirror, making sure their hair is all nice before they go in.
Yeah. 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 I was thinking as well, it was just, I don't know if you ever thought about this, that I think it's something Zoe mentioned about astrology, about your rising sign.
Yeah.
And just before the time of your rising sign is almost like that lowest ebb before you rise. And I often find that just before the summer or just at the beginning of the summer, I'm not in my good place. I like the sun, but often there's like illness, or just not in a good, you know, just very low. Springtime, I'm like, yeah, hit summer. And so my rising time would be on the end of Cancer, the beginning of the end of Cancer. Yeah. So, and I always find that's interesting that there's this sort of sense of low ebb energetically before you rise. And I every year, even though I have always great intentions, I do feel like that just before that change.
That's so interesting, because just before your rising would be when you were just about to be born. You were down the birth canal, which I'm guessing is, you know, is the source of much trauma, both physical and, you know, spiritual. So that would be like the hardest moment of your life, the hardest moment of your, you know, of your life to date. And everything is at stake. You know, if you don't get this right, then nothing gets to begin. So that's really interesting.
And so I do find that. Then, so when's yours rising? When's yours?
Yes, I've got Libra rising.
Yeah.
And September is usually sort of quite an awkward time for me, because I love the summer so much. So as I let go of summer and as I have to sort of sort out everybody's uniform, and, you know, the start of the school year, as previously discussed, is a very awkward time for me of sort of needing to tether myself, because the summer is really free. And, you know, and if I want an upside down day or 3, then I have it. But then September is so disciplined, and it's very not me.
Yeah, it's just an interesting concept. I don't know if you guys watching can think about that for yourselves. I mean, it might not affect you, but I realize that might explain why summer is sometimes a bit flat for me, even though I do love the sun. It's just, maybe it's time to go inwards, and a bit it's anti what the world's doing. It's like,
yeah, that's really interesting. Let me flash up a few greeting messages. And then we'd love to hear what your rising signs are and how they affect your, you know, your environment just before. So Grizz, who runs the channel, says you can support me by sending stars. Stars help me earn money to make more content. Sandy says, good morning, ladies. Blessings.
Good
morning, Sandy.
Good morning. Hope you're well.
We've got a message from Mark, who says, good morning, one and all. I hope everyone is doing okay. And Mark further says, remember to hit that like button so you know when Inbaal, Laura, and others are on. Whenever you see a button, you press it. Thank you.
Thank you. Morning, Lucienne.
Lucienne says, morning, ladies. And further says, are you both feeling okay? Yeah. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay enough for both of us.
Good. I'm all right. I'm fine.
Mark enjoyed the camping dog. That's cute. Helen says, hi, Inbaal and Laura.
Morning.
And Lucienne is sending you an important message that says definitely more rest.
So hard.
It's, you know what? It's a good universal message. Don't feel too targeted, because I don't think it's a bad, you know, it's bad advice for anybody. So Mark says, as you know, I'm an air sign, and usually we hate having to be on time. My Scandi side is all about being on time, such a massive conflict within me. Maybe as I get older, it may stop. That's actually a really good point, because we're all watching from different backgrounds, different cultures. And for some, it's a great source of honor to be on time. And for some, it's a great source of disgrace to be on time.
It's interesting because I was speaking to a Norwegian a while ago, and about the subject, it's very culturally different. Of if you bump into somebody when you're running a little bit late, and they go hello, and you go, oh, like, do you A, talk to them and get later, B, be rude to them and try and get on time, or C, just freak out in English? And in Norway, it's really you would even consider talking to them. You'd be like, they were like, no, it's rude to be late, and therefore off you go. And I'd be like, but you can't ignore people. It's the funny ways that we all deal with those situations.
Yeah.
If I see someone,
I wonder I wonder if there's like even say a word in Norwegian that means, I'm late for somebody and that's why I can't. You would think that there would be, exactly, that there would be like a specific tut that doesn't translate to it doesn't translate to other cultures.
It's because I can't say ignore someone, but then it is that awkward conversation where you're like, and they start telling you about their day, and you're like, I've got to go.
Whereas like it would be literally the opposite in Israel, and I think sort of most of the Middle East, where if you're running into somebody, you will have the whole conversation with them. You may even stop for a coffee, and then when you finally get to where you're going, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry I'm late, but I bumped into Sheila. I haven't seen her in months, so we went for a coffee, but I'm here now.
Oh, I love the scale. We've got Scandi to Israel, with England just embarrassed in the middle.
Embarrassed for everyone. Embarrassed. I'm ashamed on your behalf. I'm ashamed on your behalf. And I really hope all of you feel very, very bad until you go to sleep at night.
I love it.
Lucianne says, I'm Libra rising too. Do you find September to be a bit of an awkward time as well, or even the start of Libra? I'd be very, very curious to
I'm
put
really
that
curious.
To it really
maybe celebrating that moment. Sorry.
It really makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, and then it makes more sense to celebrate that moment. You can look at the degree of when you're rising or around the date, and you can have it as like a celebration. It is a birthing time, so not just your birthday, but especially if it's been a bit of a pants one just before, then having that time of like, oh, I rise now. It's nice.
Yeah. We've got a big shift in Saturn coming. Is it day after tomorrow?
Into Aries.
Well, coming out of Pisces, so enjoy it.
High five on the way out.
I did not mind this. I did not mind this Saturn in Pisces at all, because the discipline that it brings in is much needed. I would love to be a disciplined person, and I really make an effort. Like I make lists and put things in places and have storage for things, but I don't have it in me. It's a talent I wasn't born with. So when Saturn comes and just sort of makes me feel like it might be a good idea to be disciplined, I don't mind it so much. You're going to hate it.
Well, I am. But actually I do, because I do try to, and sometimes it's exhausting because I can't. So maybe it will help me do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Is me trying all the time and not doing that great at it. So I'm hoping have a rest now and then boom. So I'm up for it. It's just could do with some universal support. So maybe that will help. That'll be good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because if you want to be good at discipline, then Saturn is sort of really on your side then.
Yes. Tell us your rising signs and tell us about the month beforehand and how, if you know it anyway, you can always find out on the oldie internet.
Yeah.
Astro charts.
We've got, Mark says, Samus, you don't interact on buses, etc. It's nuts. Social norms different in different countries. The best best word in Swedish is fartlek, which means speed play. Funnily enough, that's a Swedish word I know, because fartlek is when you practice running and you go very fast and then slow down, but you're still running and play with your speed. I like words that sound awful. So that one definitely qualifies.
Yeah. I remember had it when I first met my Norwegian friends, and they called before parties if we go out forspiel, and it translates as foreplay. So I was invited round for foreplay, and I was like,
Yeah.
It just had a few drinks, but I was like,
But no, I've had worse invites. It would have been automatically yes before figuring out exactly what was going on. Immediately yes.
Put that on your gravestone. It was a yes before I figured out what was going on.
I really like being the yes person, and for stuff like that, number one. Lucienne says, I hate being late. I'm a great timekeeper. I think that's my Chinese water ox, keeping me grounded and in the flow. So that's equivalent to the Taurus. Yeah.
And I think you're Gemini, aren't you, Lucienne, as well? I think on the Cancer cusp, maybe. I think if I'm
very
let me know
cute.
if I'm wrong.
So we have Helen's rising sign, and it is Taurus. She says, I love the autumn Capricorn sun and Leo moon. Wow, it's powerful.
Yes, I would not mess.
Yeah.
Very
alpha trio.
Capricorn sun, Leo moon, and Taurus. Right, you'll get things done. You get things done, Helen.
That is so pragmatic, focused.
Yeah.
Stubborn.
And I think with that Capricorn sun, if you don't get it done straight away in life, when you get it done, it'll be the best quality ever. Like it will just be the best done thing. It doesn't have to be done today, but when it is done, it's going to be absolutely sublime.
Yeah, at like resale level, you could sell it on.
Yes.
So with the Taurus rising, Helen, do you find that the time before Taurus is the time of Aries? Difficult for you, challenging? Is that when you find yourself sort of getting poorly or feeling a little less tethered?
Yeah, so it makes sense to you. I was just wondering if it does to everybody else, because when I was told that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense to me, but it might not for everybody. But it helps me understand why summer's sometimes a bit flat in my brain.
Yeah. Lucienne says September is usually a good time for me. It's one of my favorite months. Curious.
Well, maybe it's because you've sorted yourself out better than I
have. Tragic but true. So Lucienne says I'm a Gemini with Aries moon.
Yes.
Yeah, so you need that Libra to balance things out. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody yesterday who was either Gemini with Aries moon or Aries with Gemini moon, and it's just like, wow, that must be so playful and potentially exhausting for everybody around you.
Yeah. I just my friend Jenny, who's Libra, lovely Jenny, and she's got Aries moon and she walks very fast. I kind of feel like Aries moon makes you just go, I'm walking really, really fast.
Wow.
That's my weird observation of Aries moon. Walking fast.
Yeah. No, I think
my Aquarius moon, I'm like, la 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 la.
I think the moon signs are kind of under investigated because I remember when I first sort of understood the moon signs and realized I was Saggy moon, and suddenly so many things made sense.
Yes.
Back at that time, I hadn't worn pants for years. I'd wear like skirts, trousers, and stuff, but
you mean pants as in trousers, not underwear?
No, as underpants.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I didn't really see the point. You can see what a bra does. It has an important job, a construction type job. I couldn't figure out pants, and I let go of the whole concept. And then I was talking to another Sagittarius moon lady, and she wasn't wearing pants either, as she told me. And I thought, wow, could this be a Saggy moon thing? Because the Sagittarius really needs to feel free. Ideally naked, but like in polite society, I've got to put some stuff on, but really sort of by order of necessity. So so yeah, it's always felt to me as if we know a lot about the sun, but that the moon kind of brings all the quirks,
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
those
I really
quirks
like
that
that.
we don't investigate enough.
Yeah, and it's how people are like when you actually get to know them, isn't it? Like, the rising is what you'll see, and it's obvious on the outside in many ways. But the moon is, as you say, it's that quirky, those things which when you actually get to know someone, it kind of defines a lot about how they live their lives. So it's really important, isn't it? Pants and
Yeah,
all.
yeah, exactly. Mark is loving your Norwegian. And Luciana's just coming up,
Yay.
28th of May, coming soon. Happy birthday in advance.
Woo. Yay. Happy
Um,
birthday.
Helen says, I get things done except the housework. Usually
High-fiving
get
you.
exactly. Usually get ill in November, December. So that's actually ahead of
Ignore your
your
stuff.
Capricorn.
There could
Rather
be
than
no
ahead.
correlation in this. It's just, but I'm just interested.
Yeah, it's still really, really interesting. And I think with all those sort of really high octane signs, yeah, with the Leo, Capricorn, and Taurus that Helen has,
Yeah.
the housework is, the, shall we say, effort versus praise ratio of it is not even worth looking into. Whereas doing things at work where people can see, how accomplished you are, or doing things, in the family for other people where you can see them enjoying it, great. You dust the shelf. Does the shelf look happy? Does the shelf look grateful? Does the shelf look like you changed his life? The answer is no.
So I think you're talking to me here as well.
I don't follow your dusting schedule. But
There is one.
But for Helen, I think there's such center stage signs that doing something sort of so backstage as housework, where would you even find the time?
No time.
No time. Mark says, so he's Aquarius, moon is in Saggy. Ironically, the sign before is Capricorn. Oh, the sign between. Weird times. So the rebirthday is Capricorn, the getting well, getting better. So before, oh wait. So we got rising. No, we don't have the rising. And Lucianne says she'd love to understand the moon better. Yeah, I think the moon.
What moon sign was it? Was it Aries? You said. Was it Aries? Lucianne said.
It was Libra rising. Yeah, Libra rising.
Yeah,
Aries.
That's definitely one of the most impulsive. I think it makes you more impulsive than an Aries sun. I think it makes you much more snap to things, whether it's walking fast or quick to anger, quick to calm. It's because it's also like your moon should be where you relax. So it's actually through Aries ways of making you relax, which is kind of counterintuitive. Some people might say.
Yeah, but I think if Aries feels more relaxed, if Aries moon feels sort of more soothed by being on the move all the time, then that is,
Yeah, exactly. Relaxing. Exactly. So what finds is sort of finding those things which, even if it's not normal, like massage and which is always lovely, but it's finding those things which bring you peace or make you feel at home, like eclectic energy around your home or something that's exciting for you to have at your home will probably bring you more joy than the traditional let's calm down and have a blankie sesh. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, exactly. That, what's soothing for one person is not soothing for another person. And if Aries is not sort of soothed by, twinkling music, and it has to be like, ear bleeders, great, go with that. Yeah, exactly. Mark says, I'm an earth dog in Chinese calendar, loyal and bites. And we have a request from
The request about being naked.
Did you see how that flew
I
off
saw,
the
that
screen?
flew by. I saw it. I saw it.
It was there, and then suddenly it was not more
Where
there.
did it go?
But Luciane is saying would love some cards for her health, please.
I'm using some special cards today. They're called the carrot cards. Not about carrots, but about cats.
Ah, very
And they're
good.
only the major arcana, so it might calm down my multiple card moment.
Wouldn't count on it, but let's see. Aspirationally.
Okay, well, that one's coming. Okay, 2 then. All right, just 2. I lied. You go first.
All right.
Or should I go first? You don't mind.
I don't mind. Luciane, I have a weird thing to ask. Is there something going on with your thyroid? Have you been sort of chasing around a diagnosis and nothing makes sense? Because I've got like a thyroidy vibe here. And the reason I'm saying that is because it shows a cut. And maybe it's something that'll be easier to diagnose, invasively. Not recommending, or detracting from it. Obviously, it's your choice. But it's showing me a small gland at the end of kind of an investigating knife, investigating needle, something like that. And it says that it's connected with your femininity, so maybe connected with hormones or connected with the reproductive system, something like that. And even though they're really positive cards, I'm curious about seeing like a knife or a needle there, that if kind of an invasive idea is presented to you, then it's worth thinking about it. It's really interesting to me that they're sort of very airy colors, right? Ooh, very airy colors. And so I think that it connects with a metal, again, like knife, needle, something like that, that, you're not keen to go for an invasive solution, but I feel like one exists, and it's as if there's like a mini version of the big option. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but yeah, let us know. What have you got there, Laura?
Yeah, I did do the 3. Yeah. But yeah, it's really interesting because I get this sort of real highs and lows. Kind of got the full straight away, which is lovely. Then we have the death card, and then we have the lovers card. So the feeling I was getting with this is there's a duality, hugely, obviously, of the ways that you're wanting to do something that aren't being maybe addressed by normal medical procedures, like the way you think, oh, like this should be happening, or I could try this, or new ways of doing things. And then ups and the downs when things aren't working, and the frustration when things aren't working. Dropping on the floor. It feels like a duality. It feels like 2 ways of going about things. I was just really seeing the sense of, okay, wonderful, the full, wonderful, new way of starting something new, but it feels like it's just 2 things need to happen with the health to kind of a marriage between 2 different ways of approaching it. This lovers card brings in the light and the dark together. So I do feel like there is a new way that you, again, hopefully, as you say, there's a new way of approaching your health stuff, but also there is a duality of using sort of the ways you want to do things, which will help you, but also there's just something about, maybe like Inbaal was saying as well, having a test, having something which actually does make some clarity come through in a different way, but then allows you to have that meeting in the middle. I do feel the result is very Gemini card. This is you, the Gemini. It does feel a meeting of 2 worlds, which helps with your health. So ones that you really, a new way of exploring, which you might need to push or leap into, but also there is something around, like Inbaal was saying, something a little bit more doctory that might need to kind of push things along a little bit. But it's really, really interesting. It does feel there's going to be a harmony built together soon about the treatment and that kind of thing, because it feels like it's been all or nothing. Yay, no. And it feels like now we're going to get a middle ground where it goes, yeah, okay, we can, this is more long lasting now.
Yeah, yeah, that's really interesting because it was the same as what I was saying, that it's
Mm,
not like a choice between like the fully holistic way
mm,
and Beverly Hills sort of strip everything and put it back together a different way, that there is kind of a middle ground. And Lysiane says, probably one of my favorite things to see ever. I can't mention it here, but that is very interesting. Is that
uh,
like the best feedback available in
yeah,
the world ever? Yeah,
absolutely. Thank
yeah.
you, Lucienne.
And I
Almost
think
there.
it's also good demonstration for anybody watching from like outside our world. You don't have to ask questions in like all the words to get
Yeah.
an answer that you can, that you can utilize, that you can make use of. So yeah, it's a really good demonstration. And she says that yes, that's where my head has been at.
Mm,
Very interesting. Very interesting. Best of luck. We're
lovely.
sending you lots and lots of healing.
Yes, yes. So much love and almost birthday times. Yay.
Mark says birth chart. It was Saggy rising as well. Right. So we've got
Mm,
the Saggy rising. We've got the Aquarius with the Capricorn in the middle. Saggy moon, which is very interesting to have together. So this is sort of really for you, Mark, to see whether the time just before birth, whether the time before the
right.
ascendant, so the time of Scorpio for you is a difficult time, is a time that's associated with like difficult reactions for you or anything like that. Oh, and Mark says that he's been having crazy dreams. So, is there anything happening
Mm,
astrologically?
it's
I've been
always.
having crazy dreams as well.
Me too. Yeah. Not bad ones. Always crazy, but not been
Yeah,
bad at least.
yeah.
When they're good,
No,
they can be good crazy. That's fine.
that's how you process things. So, I don't think there's been any like big shifts this month. There's actually been, except for Pluto, no retrogrades this month, and again, except for Pluto, no retrogrades next month. So, whatever you're sort of getting through you, whatever you're processing, is at the very least not going to be, um, you know, hijacked
Yeah.
by weird planetary transitions and, and issues and so on.
Yeah. Look at the back of these cards. Look how grumpy these cats look. It's quite distracting.
They're not grumpy, they're judging you, and knowing cats, they probably have a really good reason.
Yes.
They're
This is
not
how my star looks at me every morning at 4 a.m.
exactly. And may she look at you like this for many, many years to come. She's not grumpy, she's got
Oh, yeah. The
every
feist is
reason.
good. The feist is
Yeah,
good. I appreciate it.
every reason. Lucianne says, thank you, sweethearts. Mm.
Our pleasure. Our
And
pleasure.
Simeon says, good morning, second breakfast. Missed the start as I'm at work. Hope you're having a fantastic day and all is well. As good
That's
as
all
can be
right.
expected.
Yeah.
Um,
You didn't miss the most, it's me going about, I feel poorly.
very sad and sick. Lucianne says, same with the dream. So that's all of us. Where is, I
Mm.
didn't bring my ephemeris. Let me just sort of figure out where the moon is right now.
It's dark moon,
Because
isn't it? Got some
we're
dark moon.
still, yeah, we're still a few days from the moon change. So where are we now?
Yes.
Daily, the
Yes.
horoscope. Oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah. Today, ephemeris. There's,
It's in
um,
Pisces, apparently. Is that today or that? No. Yeah, it's in Pisces, the moon. Maybe that's it.
oh, yeah. Pisces is very with the crazy dreams. Very with the crazy dreams. Also with the prophetic dreams, visitation from the afterlife. May
I was
20.
making truffles in my dream. That was pretty good.
Truffles?
Chocolate. Really posh chocolates.
Oh, I want to come to your dreams.
Yeah, I was making these really posh, and it's the really right way, and I was doing them a bit messy, but I was like, has been a really specific way, and I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
So ridiculous.
See that, but that's like so the Aries, because now that your mom is gone, I'll bet you skipped a few meals, and now you go to sleep hungry, and you don't know that you're hungry, but your soul does.
It's truffle chocolate.
Wow, that's so good. I just have like dreams of like falling, banging into stuff. I don't have truffles in dreams, but I do have quite a lot of chocolate outside of the dreams. So so there's nothing missing on that front. So yeah, we're still in the moon in Pisces, and when the moon moves to Aries tomorrow, it will be alongside with Venus in Aries, and Uranus is still in Aries. Whereas at the moment, Saturn is still in Pisces for another couple of days, and the moon is in Pisces. So they go side by side to make things, a little bit more interesting. But I think what was exciting me about the change in Saturn is not just Saturn moving, but it's Saturn basically starting a whole new cycle, because Pisces is the last and Aries is the first. Yeah. So if there's things that you want to sort of get going that you always thought, well, it's not for me, and now you really want to do it, if you want to sort of go and get a degree, get a qualification that you always thought, I'm not gifted enough for it, or it's not my kind of thing, or people will laugh at me. That's a really good one. People will laugh at me if I do it. Let them laugh. There's not enough laughter in the world. Go and do it.
Yes. Yeah.
Starting a business, sending in the application. So I get really excited. As much as Aries is not necessarily my comfort zone, I get really excited when anything goes into Aries, because I think, well, that is not just a whole new leaf, but that is like a kind of book of Kells, enormous, like cave drawing of a leaf.
It is. And so, yeah, that's exciting. And well, hopefully we live in hope. I'm in the mood for it. So yes. Yeah. And also where your Saturn, because my Saturn's in retrograde, I think that's quite problematic in your chart as well. Like, it's in retrograde in Virgo. I mean, I don't even know how. I don't know how, really. Don't know how. Don't know how
so that would really kind of explain why you have the desire to be disciplined, also like absolute inability.
Exactly. But the only astrologer that described it in a really beautiful way for me, because it does also feel like you want to be tidy, like you want to, and it's just but one astrologer said, actually, a different way of looking at it, it's your desire to dig into the past, to dig down to the roots of things, which is what I love. I'm a history buff. And thinking in that way, because there's always a plus and a minus, isn't there? There's always like, this is what you're really not very good at. But then there's also the other side of it. But what you are good at is digging back to the roots of things. Like, oh yeah, I am good at it. So it's a really nice way of looking at the other side of things.
That's really, really interesting. Where is my Saturn? I think it's like in Aquarius or something sort of really unuseful, impractical. Where is my Saturn? I don't know. I'm very confused at the moment. And I always used to use like the same site to pull up my astrology, and it now sort of, you've got to register and stuff. You don't even have to pay or anything. You just have to register. And my Sagittarius moon is like, no, I don't think so. And I was saying to my Sagittarius moon, but then we'll get to see everything, and we can do like the charts for clients so much more easily. And my Sagittarius moon is like, no, I don't think so. If you give them your email address, they're going to give it to all the governments.
And they'll know your star signs.
And then they'll know that you do want to be tidy, you do want to be disciplined, but you might as well want to be tall for all the good it'll do you.
For both of us, this is the
I don't particularly want to be tall, except for in the supermarket. And even in the supermarket, like even in my area, people are so quick to come and help when you look up in the
Oh,
Diet Cokes. Why? Why would you even put a Diet Coke so high up? It's the shorties that need them. Put the full sugar Cokes high up.
that's brilliant.
But I think, yeah, maybe if I lived in a slightly less friendly area. Let me
Yeah.
take some cards for you for the getting better after you ignored the good advice for last time. Maybe this time we'll land better.
Yeah. I'd say in my defense, but I can't defend myself. So it's
It's okay. You don't need to. Right. What it says to you is fine. Don't take care of yourself. Die. Okay. If this is what you want, this is what you want. I honor and respect your choices. But it says, but if amazing things come and you're too poorly to take advantage of them, then you'll be sorry.
yeah.
Then look, good things are coming. I don't even want to say romance because I don't want you to spit at the computer trying to get to me. And then, we have destruction of property. But when amazing things happen of
It hurts
all
my head
types,
to laugh so much.
when nice things happen of all types, all descriptions, and you are in bed, fluid and green, then you'll be
Yeah.
sorry.
That's
Do
the way
it.
to tell an Aries. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And each reading comes in the style that fits the person receiving the reading. So I can't imagine like a Libra would ever get a message like that. Can you imagine?
No. And I'm
No.
just like, yes, but die then. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Lucianne is like, how tall are you? Then I'm 5'2". So I'm a little bit shorter than you. Are you 5'4", Laura?
5'4". I think I'm 5'4", about.
Yeah.
Almost.
So
Yeah.
Laura's a little bit taller than you.
I
I'm a
feel
little
very
bit.
tall right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the tallest of the three of us. Um, I
I'm gonna
actually I used to live in a youth hostel in Earl's Court, and I was really good friends with another Israeli girl who was like short. Like she had a specific developmental thing. So she was sort of 4'1", 4'2", like really teeny tiny. And there was another Israeli girl who none of us knew because she spoke Spanish really fluently. She would read the papers in Spanish, so we never really tweaked. And so the receptionist at the hostel was like, "Oh, I've got a fax." That's how old this story is. I've got a fax here for the short Israeli girl, and I was like, "Me." And he was like, "No, shorter." So my bestie was like, "Me," and he was like, "No, a little taller."
short.
So I was the tallest of the three in that specific situation. I know, it's shocking.
Little Russian
But
dolls.
yeah, yeah, you could put us inside each other. Yeah, I was also the widest. But yeah, so Lucianne, I'm like 5'1.5". I'm not quite 5'2". For a long time I said 5'2". It's a lie. I'm not 5'2", but I'm a little bit more than 5'1". And when like in at the doctors, sometimes they'll measure you a little bit shorter and they don't care. They just sort of put it in their computer and stuff. And I'll be there like campaigning for my right to be my actual height. And
Yeah.
I've got measured at less than 5 foot in the past. And I'm like, I don't know if your specific, if your like knowledge of facts is so compromised that you're not even getting heights right. I would like a second opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when you're that short, every inch counts.
Every inch counts. Always every inch counts. Lucianne
Always.
says we are compact.
I'm
I
going to
know,
pull a
and
birthday
adorable.
card for Lucienne actually as well for her birthday. Oh, look, for your birthday, you got the 9 of Cups. Yay,
Woo!
celebration. Bask in
Oh.
all the glory and the beauty of your awesome birthday. And now I'm going to pull a card for Inbaal as well, because you did one for me. Yay! Any area? Or you're not?
Oh, see how my holiday's going to be. I'm so scared of the alligators.
You're only going to Halifax.
No, you creep up to the alligators and try and feed them.
Yes.
Who's Mummy's cute little dinosaur?
Tickle those teeth. Tickle those teeth. Yeah. This is how I die, but I'm okay with that. That's all right. Give Inbaal holiday. Oh yes. Oh look, you've got the 6 of Cups. I love that. Peace, all the watery place. And then you've got the 2 of Wands there, so as well. So adventure, new horizons, and you've got the Hierophant as well. So there'll be no alligators for you. You can have a very strict schedule with no alligators included in this schedule.
Very good. I love those.
The 6 of Cups in this deck.
I love the 6 of Cups for that. Look at the flowers there as well.
And there's a water just coming out. It's like a renewal and a refreshing feeling. It feels like it is going to be a really renew. It's called reunion as well, which is lovely. It just feels like
I'm saying. I need to look at my astrocartography because I've never been to America, but I've always felt like there was something, like there was maybe a past life or a connection or something there. So. Yeah,
it feels like it will have that for you, that feeling. And that ancestor, that Hierophant, is what's called the ancestor in this.
Oh.
So there is something beyond lovely, beautiful place you're going to be and the alligators, but there's something that's going to call your bones. Like, I know this, I've been here, or there's some link to family or something that just feels really powerful.
Ooh, that'll be so exciting. Lucianne says, I'm having friends over for drinks too.
9 of Cups all round.
Very nice. 9 cups for everybody. Mark is reminding us that we want to carry on with our day a little bit. Kim says, oh my God, you have to come to America. So I'm coming for the very, very first time.
That's so lovely. When is it you're going? When is it?
So I'm going Saturday. So we're going to be in Florida, like in South Florida, and one of the girls who watches on a Tuesday, she was like, oh, are you going to be near to me? And she's like in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm looking at the map and it's like really near, and I'm like, 9-hour drive. It's such a huge country. It's like next door, 9-hour drive. And I was like, don't take it like a diss, but I think it's a little bit excessive to do. Even if we meet halfway, it's still a little bit excessive to do on a holiday.
It's like going to Scotland and saying to Cornwall, do you want to pop by? It's
exactly. Yeah.
It's like it's too,
Yeah, no, 4.5 hours drive. If we were to meet halfway, that's longer than for me to get to London. Lucianne says, I too have an unknown link with Around Utah. Where did you find that, Lucianne? Is that from like astrocartography?
I love astrocartography. I think
that. It's so interesting. So I was doing a reading yesterday to a girl in Australia, and she's looking at moving. She's not really sure why she's pulled there. And I was pulling cards, and it's like the world and that. And I was like, I'm sorry, but your soul tells you have to move there. As soon as you get there, like everything will unfold. And then she said, oh, I had master cartography done, like her friend did it for her. And it is exactly on the town that she's always wanted to go to.
That's epic.
Yeah. So I did mine like years ago. But I remember that Greece featured high, and I have got like the strongest connection.
Didn't
with
it
Greece.
go through Yorkshire? Was that didn't it? Something went through Yorkshire.
Were you there?
I was there too. Yeah, I remember this. I've got a memory of a line going through Yorkshire. And you were like, no way.
Yeah. So it was Yorkshire. There was Greece, but I don't know that I gave any notice to what was going on to the west of it, because it was just when I was, thinking of moving to Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love it.
Yeah. So I think there's just so much to understand, so much to learn. Kim says, and I have to go to England. You have to go to England. England is fabulous. Come with a crew. Hire Laura as your tour guide.
Yes, we'll do this. That's why I need to get well for these things.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to miss out on the good things. Kim's like South Florida, alligators, humidity, bad hair days.
Sounds like a
for
great
me.
time.
My hair is fabulous on bad hair days because this is not representative. I'm very, very, very curly. So in hot places, it is phenomenal. It's like the Jufro is out to play. It looks great in pictures.
Yeah.
Anything works with it. It's all the rest of it. You know, England is always raining. So I could like style my hair 5 feet out of my door, destroyed, devastated, always raining.
Yeah.
Not even in a way that a umbrella could help you.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Thank you, Lucianne. More wellness, more wellness.
Oh,
Meditation, dreams, very deep
about you, Tara.
things.
You can do it on astro.com, can't you? That's where you can get your...
Yeah, let me see what comes up first if we look for astrocartography.
I think mine's on astro. It's very fun. You'll be there all day going, ooh.
Exactly. It, you know, we're doing this like on a screen just because we're not all in the same room. If we were all in the same
tea. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind making the teas. I'm happy with that.
No, I'm good with the teas.
So yeah, I can see that there is there's a free astrocartography calculator on astro-seek.com. Astro-seek. So if you just sort of look for AstroSeek, I would do it live, but we do have the rest of our lives to be getting on with, and we've been doing this for for a while. Kim says my hair would be poop in England with rain, Afro City. Yeah.
Not much rain this year so far, but as a whole.
But the thing is, it always can. Like you could have a perfectly lovely day, and it wouldn't be like in the news if it suddenly rained in the middle of that lovely day.
Yeah.
Oh, Helen's got to run. We have to run too.
Yes,
Lucianne says would be nice. Kim says I'd love to meet Laura. You should. She's even cuter in person. Even and she's cute enough now on the screen. Even cuter in person. Personality and looks and everything.
Oh, thank you.
I know you're not feeling it now. So we're going to. Yeah, we're going to let all of you go. And I'm not here next week, but if I am not munched to the bone by an alligator or shark, or I think there's also like spidery things. I know, there's a little shark. Look at your little pointy tail. But yeah, if I'm still alive and well, I will see you. What?
And bears.
There's really bears there? I thought you made it up.
So cool.
He says there's bears.
I'm coming.
My youngest boo-boo, who's also a Pisces, was like, Ema, what? He's got a very small voice. Why do we have to go somewhere so dangerous? And I'm like, no, it'll be fabulous. Look at the ice cream shop. Look, ice cream shop. It'll be fabulous. He's like, what are we going to do when we're asleep if the alligators come? And I was like, well, lock the door. And what happens if we have to run into the car? I was like, Mama, you stay close to Mama. Mama is going to defend you against everything.
Oh, bless you.
But I'm sure we'll be back here in 2 weeks' time to take you through to the summer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much. Have a wonderful time. Bye, everybody.